Hi folks, this week I thought I'd do more of a video response to Ray Praxxus55712's video he put out. Is an excellent channel if you haven't seen it yet. But anyway, Ray's put out a ton of information, and he took his turn to finally ask us questions. So Ray, these are my answers to your questions. His first question, well, he kind of stole the thunder out of my answer, but what's the best tip we can give? From my perspective, the best one is, just like Ray said, is compost. Compost is the real secret to it all. If you get your bed full of rich compost, hopefully made yourself by your grass clippings, kitchen waste, things like that, it'll do wonders for your garden, even if you're just doing it in a little container. Compost is the key. But I'd like to follow that up and also say try some mulch around the base of the plants. Here in South Texas, if we don't mulch around there, the sun just cooks the daylights out of those poor little plants growing out there. So I'd like to add to that. Ray's right, mulch or compost is the best tip to take. But follow right up with there, mulch the plants too once they get started. And in the fall, I know most of you poor souls up in colder climates mulch in the fall too, to keep the ground nice, and then as it decomposes come springtime, you'll have a nice little blend that you can blend into your soil. That's probably the best tip I have. Next, let's see, Ray asks, what's the best success I've had? Well, the best success I've had is that watermelon in a bag. If you look at my earlier videos, that one where I took a compost bag, threw it on the ground, compost again, notice, threw it on the ground, cut a hole in it, threw in a watermelon seed, and that one plant, I threw in a couple seeds, but they're thinned out, but one plant produced nearly 100 pounds of watermelons, two of which were nearly 30 pounds apiece. So it's a great little success to me, was how simple throwing a watermelon or a compost bag on the ground, tossing in a watermelon seed and getting those big things. It works for other plants too. You're not in a watermelon, don't have the space, because boy, they do sprawl. Then try some of your other things. The only thing I don't think would work very good in is probably root crops, because of how deep it needs to be, and the bags are pretty thin for some of the deeper carrots and potatoes. But come to think of it, you could probably stack a couple bags, you know, and do it that way. That'd be an interesting experiment, maybe next year. What's the biggest failure I've had? That's rather embarrassing. While technically nothing to do with gardening, it's when we first moved in down here. Wife was in a hurry to get some things, glancing off the side here. Texas, we have lots of things. We had a scorpion running along the side of the wall here. So I'm keeping an eye on that little critter. The biggest failure is bringing in a so-called expert to do the landscaping, and he recommended something called Bermuda grass. If you ever hear Bermuda grass, run. Bermuda grass is also nicknamed devil grass because while it does have great drought resistant capabilities, it'll brown out but then come right back once things warm up. It takes over the world. It's really considered an invasive and will go up over walls. I have an article on my blog. If you take it out, you can see some more of the details. But it migrates three methods. It does what they call stolons, little runners along the ground, where it crawls around and through its root structure, and also seeds. Those three methods, it'll take over gardens. It actually, I'll take a look at this video clip here, and you'll see it actually has gone over the walls of my raised bed. One of them, it was more of a planter for herbs, but it just took it over. It just, nothing seems to stop it. So devil grass, Bermuda grass, I would rate as my biggest failure. Ray, what do we want to see more of? Speaking for myself, and that's all I can, I'd like to see more of your outside activities. What you're doing in your operations out there. Why you went into the poultry, the chickens and the turkeys you do. I love the turkeys, by the way. What do you do with them? Do you collect them, the eggs? Do you eat the eggs? Do you just sort of have them as pets? What's the deal? What are the decisions we should go through before we decide to take on turkeys, let's say, or chickens? What are the pluses? What are the minuses? Especially up there in northern Minnesota like you are, I imagine you've got some weather concerns you may have to consider. It's not really a big deal down here in South Texas in our 3 weeks of winter, where we get some cold, but we get and maybe a little ice, but we don't get snow generally, so we don't have it anywhere near as tough as some of you folks up north. What do I want to see less of? Maybe some of the sitting in the living room or in the office just reading the email. I like to see out and see what you're doing and what you're changing, even something as simple as what's your keys to fall preparation in the northern climates there. What do you do to get your garden ready for the winter? Do you till it? Do you cover it? Do you just let it go? What are your tips for the rest of us that have those same sort of circumstances? A lot of your viewers are in the northern climates as you are, and I'm sure would really like to see. Plus, I like to sit there and watch it and say, oh, thank God I don't have to do that down here. Anyway, that's it, Ray. Hopefully this is a reasonable response to your request for answers from us. And any of the other viewers out there, give Ray a response. He does a lot for us. He's sharing a lot of information with us. So send him your questions. It's the only way he'll know what we want to hear. Anyway, see you later, Ray. Here's areas of our back sidewalk where you can see it's actually gone through the brick right along the side and actually grown into rock. And it's taken over, and if I leave it alone, it'll completely cover up everything. I'm going to fix it this afternoon with a torch. But this is by far the worst. This is a completely circular stone garden, sort of a raised bed. You can see it from a distance on the opening credits, but as you can tell, the Bermuda grass from our yard has completely grown up over the side and completely into the planter. Hard to believe, I know, but I did leave it go like this just to show how bad stuff can get. Really aptly known. Whoever named it devil grass, I think they hit it right on the nose. This is by far the worst, and I will never ever touch Bermuda grass again.